Green. We are here in Talladega.
Hold on. Okay, start
The
now.
fuck?
It didn't
Wait,
stop. It didn't
is it?
start. It's
Is
rolling
it? Ta-
now. Go ahead.
all right. Is it Talladega, Alabama? Is that where we're
Yeah,
at?
yeah, Talladega, Alabama.
All right. Okay. Welcome, OCRL fans, to the OCRL Countdown to Green. We are here in Talladega, Alabama, for the biggest tracks in this series. I'm the host, Austin Painter. Welcome alongside me, Scott Ickes. Our other co-host, Stevie, will not be making this tonight's show there because he is in Michigan, visiting some family. How we doing, Scott?
Oh, we're doing pretty good tonight. I think we're gonna have a real good race for everybody. Normally these races go caution free, so look for a lot of fuel mileage and teammates hooking up with one another to try to make it to the end and be the first ones to cross the line.
Yeah, fuel mileage has been the super speedway here in the OCRL. Before we head into the tonight's race talk, we're gonna flash back to last week, Charlotte. They had a really huge incident in the beginning of the race where it caused a lot of drivers were upset, a lot of drivers were medium, and then drivers were just didn't care. What was your aspect on the Charlotte incident?
Well, it does suck for those drivers who weren't able to do it good. The ones who got caught up in an incident early. I feel bad for those guys. I definitely think that we probably should have had a caution for them, but I didn't see it. I was over on the other end of the track, and every time I went by where the wreck was, there was nothing there. No cars stopped on the track, no debris. So didn't at that time didn't think there needed to be a caution, but learning afterwards and hearing it from the drivers who got caught up in it, I definitely think there should have been at least a caution. Some of them wanted a restart. I didn't really think that was necessary. When you got half the field battling for the lead, and then four drivers in the back that got caught up in something, that really sucks for them, like I said before. But I think that's happened to all of us. We've had drivers who weren't able to even start up their engine at the beginning of races, and they've been on the pole. So it sucks for drivers who got caught up in that wreck the other night, but that's just a product of racing sometimes. That's what's going to happen, and you just got to move on from it.
Yeah, when you get everybody all antsy at the start, especially at a track like Charlotte Motor Speedway, it seems like incidents are gonna happen, and that incident definitely happened. I think definitely, like you said, hearing it after, a caution would have been good, but by the time we got around to them, they were already going, and we didn't even lap a car at that point of the race. But definitely people were in shock that those zero didn't even call a caution to get it all straightened out. But yeah, like you said, it's racing. But now tonight's race at Talladega, everybody asks when you come here, when's the big one? The OCRL really, we haven't really had any big ones. All we've had has been the two-car tandem. What's your outlook on tonight's race?
I think you're going to see a lot of that again. The first probably 20 laps heading into pit stops, you will see a group of drivers. They'll be with their teammates, first and third and second and fourth. But once we hit into pit stops, I think all teams have a different strategy going into the pit stop. So after that, you'll see the two-car tandems, and that works pretty good. It just depends on how your setup reacts with cars pushing or you pushing the other car, and the ones who have the best setup to do that for the rest of the race is going to do a pretty good job. Not saying there's not going to be a caution in the race, but the past couple times we've been in a restricted place, we haven't had one.
Yeah, those always really changed after since we got this two-car tandem, three-car tandem stuff. The pack, we've gone from the three wide, four wide race into more of either single file or making a run on somebody and getting past them two car. But I think definitely, your team, if you don't have a teammate or a drafting partner, then you're pretty much out to dry. But you got to look back at Daytona this year, earlier this season, at Corey Bunch. He was there at the end of that race, and it was 2 against 1 pretty much, and he was able to hold them off. So I mean, it can be done where if you do not have a teammate or at least someone who's going to stick behind you, that you can pull it out. And I mean, I think that was big specs for your team on getting the win and getting Ford into victory lane before any other manufacturer this year. And I mean, but yeah, definitely the fuel mileage is going to be big. Pitting with your teammates, getting on pit road clean. I know we've had some incidents getting on pit road, but it always works out, and they stay off the track. So I mean, there's no caution. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see a caution-free race tonight. And like we always do, we have such good drivers. But I definitely, I mean, if you got to stick with the lead pack. I know my outlook going into the ninth race would be, I mean, I've past couple races, I've kind of tried to be the nice guy where if I see someone fall out, I might go back there and try to help them get back up there, maybe like Eric or something, my teammate. But now, I mean, coming into these races, you can't really lift and go help anybody. You got to stick at the front, or else you're going to lose so much track position that you can't get it all back because of a caution. So.
You really can. I mean, if you're sixth in a group and that sixth guy drops out, then yeah, I mean, I would go back there and maybe try to help him out because uh, you know, if you have 30 cars in the line, they may not help you out. They may have a different strategy, and I know from personal experience, I've done that with the Mickey brothers. I've had races where either I drop back with them or I've just been caught in the moment of racing and had been with those three, and they were on different strategies than me, so it kind of screwed me over. I didn't have any other drivers to rely on. I had to just go by myself at the end of the race. So I think definitely if you have 9 and one guy falls back, then you wouldn't go back for him. You have another driver to go with, but um, definitely you always need that second guy. I mean, you can have 3, but going down to the end of the race is going to be harder for you to pass them.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I did notice is that the double fire, or this race, everybody hypes this race up. It's Talladega. Anybody can win. Anything can happen. And I mean, it seems like everybody looks at this race as like, oh man, this is gonna be it's hard for the drivers and stuff. But really, I look at this race as the laziest race for drivers. Yeah, I mean, you have that big long front or straightaway. All you gotta do is sit there on someone's bumper, and I mean, all you gotta do is focus on where they're at and where they're going. And I mean, your spotter does the rest. And you have that long straightaway on the backstretch that you just really just sit there and steer straight unless you're gonna make a move. And a lot of time we in the OCRL, you don't make a move until, I mean, the last 10 laps of the race, last 5 laps. So.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those kind of races where you're just going to have to be patient. You know, calculate your fuel mileage and all that good stuff. The tire they're bringing should be okay. I got on track today a little bit and practiced, and the tire didn't seem to wear too bad. We'll see. I mean, once we get on the track, I mean, everything, any kind of race is always kind of unexpected till you get on the track and run it. But I think tire wear is going to be okay. I don't think you're going to see too many drivers have to go out there and get 4 tires every pit stop. We haven't normally seen that in the past, but with any kind of tire, that because sometimes you bring a new one, sometimes you bring the same one. It doesn't matter. Anytime they bring the tire, it's just you just got to expect the unexpected.
Yeah, and the one thing also, the tires. I mean, a lot of teams. I mean, you'll hear on the radios when you're at home watching. I mean, you're gonna hear, all right, we're gonna take 2 tires here, we take 2 right sides here, and then the next stop they take 2 left sides. Because the tire that Goodyear always brings here is it's always very good and really doesn't wear that much and doesn't affect the car. I mean, what's your taking on the 4 to 2 tire stop or no tires?
I think depending on where you're at, I mean, if you're up front, I'd almost always take 2 tires. I mean, unless I really felt like I had a good car, I might take no tires up front. But most of the time, I take 2 tires. If I had a bad car and I was up front, I might even take 4 tires. But if you were in the back, it's almost 100% you always have to take no tires. That first pit stop. unless you really need a big adjustment, you take 2. It's just all about where you're at and how your car is. But most of the time, all the drivers normally set up their cars pretty good, and the cars that they bring to the track are normally pretty good on tires. But it's just all about what happens when we're in the race tonight. You might see guys that you never expect to take no tires take 4, or vice versa. It's anybody's game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, coming into tonight's race, you're gonna see. I mean, the edge is gone to JRM. They've been so well, and they have such good equipment. And I mean, they have 3 cars, and that's what you look at. And I mean, when you got teammates, you got 2 teammates to pick out of, and I mean that's the best thing you can have coming into tonight's race. Now we're gonna talk about our winners that you think would come out of, or who's gonna come out of tonight's race.
Well, I would like to pick one of the JRM drivers because I know normally they're pretty good here. But I think from our race at Daytona, I think me and Corey really got a good chance. Um, I mean, I would like to push him to a win. I would like to also get myself a first win of the season. So I think one of us two had a really good chance. But to not be, for both, I guess I would have to pick Corey for tonight's race.
Yep. I'm gonna go with someone that really, I mean, you see him in the back a lot, and you don't really talk about him. But I mean, it's Talladega. You're gonna see people from the back come to the front. But I'm gonna have to go with Sean Sadler. I think a lot of, I mean, his stuff hasn't been there this season at some of the other tracks. But I mean, when you come to a super speedway, it's all even, and I mean, you can have better equipment, maybe a better team like JRM and stuff. But I mean, when it comes down to it, if you're in the right position, I mean, you can definitely win this race. And I think tonight, I think he's gonna find a way to put himself in a position and put that car in victory lane for the first time.
Right. I would not be surprised with Sean. He's really good there. I mean, you look at everybody in here. We don't normally see Patrick run. I mean, he runs pretty good. But yeah, he really gets hyped up for his restricted play races. I think he's going to have a really good shot to drive. I mean, I know I've drafted with him at a couple of races in the restricted plates, and he's really good. I mean, he will bump you all over the track and push you up there, and he's really good. Cody's had a good string of runs in the nationwide race lately, so I would expect him maybe to be up there. Hopefully, if they don't have any problems, whether it's on pit road or um, the speed on pit road, I think they're going to have a really good race.
Yeah, another thing to look at coming into tonight's race and teams wise and stuff is the 5 team of Jason Gaines. I mean, it was announced Friday that he will not be coming back to JRM next season, and I mean it's Talladega, so you can't really see the teamwork and see the I don't know, the dedication that they have at this track, because I mean you're most likely going to be up front. Maybe got shuffled out, but I mean, see how well they run. Maybe if they pull off a win, or do how well their communication is and how they are. And I mean, they always say that.
Well, I know Jason is leaving JRM at the end of the season, but that's not going to change that team's focus. I think all of those, the driver and the pit crew and everybody on the team is still going to work just as hard, because that's your resume, really. Depending on how hard you work on that team and depending on how many wins you get out of the season, that's their resume. That's a work resume. So I wouldn't expect that team to perform any less or any more than they are right now. They're going to be just as good as they were before, and they're going to be right down there at the championship battle at the end of the season.
Yep. All right, the drivers are all lined up. They're ready to give the commands for tonight's race. We'll see you guys next week. All right, certainly. The drivers are all lined up and they're ready to give the commands, and we're ready to go racing here at Talladega Motor Speedway. You're going to catch us here next week at the Michigan International Speedway, fitting to be a good race.
All right, Austin. I'll see you down at the track, and we'll see everybody else at the end of the race.
All right, thank you.